you mentioned Doncaster there, and sort of peppered throughout the whole book is mentions of Doncaster, and there's no doubt at all that you are absolutely passionate about the place and are very, very loyal to it. Yeah. And I was really touched in the book where there was you've actually expressed it through a song. And I'm just wondering, here and now, if you might sing us a little bit of that song here. It's just called
need that. No,
Doncaster.
I don't need that. I think I don't need that. Can I have absolute quiet, please? Again, if that happens again, I want him out. I'm only joking. Stay in and shut up. 2, 3. Doncaster, a small talented child in Doncaster, afraid and alone in Doncaster, laughed at because of the posh way I talk. In Doncaster, at the house of my Auntie Irene in Doncaster. Oh, please, Auntie Irene, don't make me eat tripe. I promise I'll be good. And then, like a flower that blooms in the garden, I bend in the breeze that blows through the trees. In Doncaster, a man can walk tall. In Doncaster, your worries are small. In Doncaster, in Doncaster, in Doncaster. Then it goes a bit West Side Story there. Okay. Oh, stop it.
That was wonderful. I think we'd love to hear some more, maybe in a little while. That was fantastic. Thank you so much. So just go back to your early years in Doncaster. Is Doncaster the place you began school?
What does it say in the book?
Well, I'm curious to know when in your life you met your dear and very well-known friend Barry Cryer.
Oh, well, that was on my first day at school. No, but, yeah, that was in Doncaster. You're quite right, yeah. I'll never forget it. Let me see if I can remember this.
He was older than you, wasn't he?
Oh, he's always been older than me, Barry, considerably older than me. But I'll never forget the first time I met him in that playground at school. My first day at school in Doncaster. I looked across the playground and I saw this little old man with white hair and his trademark glasses. No, a little boy. Little tiny boy with white hair and his trademark glasses. And, you know, from that day onwards, we've been great friends ever since. In fact, there's a quote from Barry on the back, which, incidentally, I don't know who I say about that, but he wants his fiver. He phoned me up today. Yeah. I couldn't put it down if I wanted to. I don't know what we're paying him a fiver for that for. I made that up.
I would see someone about that if I was you. So, was it at school that you developed a love for performance? I know your parents were in the business and it was all around you, but was it at school by meeting a drama teacher or meeting Barry that you suddenly thought,
well, you know, Barry, yeah,
I want to do this?
Barry's a different thing. There was a drama teacher there called Mr. or Mrs. Parkinson. I forget which. One or the other, and they were very good, really.
And did you do plays at school? Were you given parts? Did you do acting at school?
Oh, I must have done.
Yeah,
I must have done.
So you started young, but your mother, I know, was determined to give you a good education, and then your father came back from the war.
He did.
And everything changed. They made decisions.
I'll never forget the sound of the footsteps on the staircase when my dad come home. Yeah. Oh.
Was it a poignant moment?
Well, I remember the footsteps. I don't remember him coming into the room. But I'll never forget that.
And were you surprised? You obviously must have been, because I think your mother thought he was dead, missing in action.
Oh, that's right, yes. We all thought he was dead. I remember being disappointed he didn't have a bicycle-shaped parcel under his arm. I do remember that. Instead, he gave me his collection of beer bottle tops. and picked up 14 of them. I've still got them. Yeah, priceless they are to me. I'll have to have a look for them.
So your father returns, and does your mum continue doing her solo contortionist act? Or do they join up again?
They formed a new act and they incorporated me into it. They took me out of school. Just getting back to the story. They took me out of school and home educated me. But really, my education was on the variety circuit, and it was a wonderful education. The act was... my mother would push me on stage in a pram, because I was about 4 or 5 or something like that. And my dad would, like we were in the park, she'd be pushing it like we were in the park. I'd be in the pram, and then he'd stagger on drunk, and they'd have an argument. And then... Oh, no, that wasn't the act. No, that was the act. He'd come on drunk, they'd have an argument, she'd storm off, and then he'd sit in a deck chair and fall asleep. And every time he nodded off, I got out the pram and kicked him up behind. And then got back in the pram before he saw me. And he'd get up and look for me, and then go to sleep again, and I'd do it again. Yeah, we got a good 15 minutes out of that. Yeah, it was very popular, that was. So popular was it that we were offered the opportunity of staying up in Newcastle for 5 consecutive weeks, and that had never happened before that, I think.
So how was the act received by the critics?
Oh, I never forget that. Was it in the book?
Yes.
They said that the performance of Arthur Strong as the baby was an absolute Tour de France. And honestly, I couldn't believe it had said that someone thought that I was like the Tour de France. And I didn't even have a bike.
And was it difficult getting that fantastic solo review, even though you were in an ensemble act with your parents?
Well, my dad was always on the drink, but my mother had started gin by then. So, I didn't think they cared about that particularly. But they were lovely people. I don't want you to get the wrong impression. They were lovely, and they nurtured me.
And how long did you continue doing the act with your parents?
Well, it must have been ages.
And ages?
Yeah. I go into it in a little bit more detail in the book. But you get the general idea.